Have you ever experienced the uncomfortable feeling of someone treating you like an emotionless object, like a tool to help them achieve their own goals? That feeling can make you feel lost and lose faith in the goodness of people. In life, sometimes we encounter fake people, people who don't really care about us, but only focus on their own interests. Today we will explore together 9 signs of someone taking advantage of you and not caring about you, to help you recognize fake friends in your life. Come back and join us in discovering how to protect yourself and foster a healthy living environment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any useful content. Number 1. Indifferent to your emotions. One of the most apparent signs that someone is just using you is their indifferent attitude towards your emotions. It is most profoundly demonstrated when they never take the time to listen or understand your feelings, needs, and worries. This is not only an act of disrespect, but also evidence that the relationship is not built on a foundation of mutual care and respect. Their number 1 priority is themselves. They see themselves as the center of the universe, and everything revolves around them, whether in work or life. And you should understand that this is definitely all they want, all they need, and all you and others can do for them. Indifference often comes with silence or evasion when faced with emotional issues, indicating that this person is not willing to invest time or energy in resolving the relationship between you and them. Being continuously treated with indifference can seriously affect your emotions and self-esteem. You may start to doubt your own value and feel unworthy of care or love. This relationship creates a vicious cycle where you try your hardest to attract attention and care from the other person, only to end up feeling more disappointed and abandoned. In the Stoic lifestyle, we are advised not to let any form of indifference diminish our self-worth or inner peace. Therefore, what you need to respond now is to clearly understand what you need and should do, recognize your feelings, and understand that you deserve respect and care. Learning to set and maintain boundaries is key to protecting yourself from indifferent behavior. Be clear about what you accept and do not accept in a relationship. Number 2. Only contact when you need it. A sign of a toxic relationship, only contact when you need you, serves as a warning light of selfishness and exploitation. This relationship, instead of being based on sharing and empathy, becomes a one-way street where they only appear when there is a personal need to be satisfied. This not only clearly shows the lack of care, but also reflects the painful reality of asymmetry in the relationship. Have you ever encountered this situation? A person only contacts you when they need help. For example, when they need to move house or when they need to borrow money, you will always be the first person they think of and contact. However, every time you need them, they always seem to have some reason to refuse you or not respond. And have you ever wondered if your own actions have indirectly contributed to their satisfaction and continued this selfish exploitation? The above case is clear proof that only contact when you need you corresponds to you living in a one-sided relationship where they don't really care about your needs or feelings. You only approach you when they need benefits. This is a warning sign of an unbalanced relationship, that your emotional investment may not be reciprocated. Always help those in need. That's how you open your heart to those around you and accumulate virtue for yourself. But surely this kindness should not be extended to those who do not deserve it, because kindness is only truly valuable when it is placed in the right place. It's important to remind yourself that you're worthy of attention and respect, not just when you can provide a benefit. In the spirit of Stoicism, facing and accepting this truth opens a path toward freedom and autonomy, freedom from unhealthy expectations and dependencies, and freedom from the master in choosing relationships built on harmony and mutual respect. Ultimately, stepping away from relationships that only provide value when the need arises is not only a wise decision, but also a powerful step toward finding and nurturing genuine connections where care and support are unconditional and go hand in hand. Number 3, never support you. One of the core elements of a healthy and sustainable relationship is mutual support in all situations. However, when you find out that a person never supports you, whether in joy or sadness, work or study, their absence in the moments you need them most begins to become painfully obvious. This not only shows a lack of interest, but also shows a lack of respect, the bare minimum that a relationship must have. Supporting a person through life's difficulties takes time, energy, understanding and compassion, and of course that never appears in the dictionary of exploitative people. They won't sacrifice anything of themselves for you. Even when two people live under the same roof, they will avoid it or pretend that nothing happened. They will not be the solid spiritual support you are looking for. Because a predator is ultimately only interested in taking care of themselves, the details of your life, your family, your friends, and your day-to-day existence will all go right through their heads. They may remember the information you share, but it doesn't mean anything to them. You can easily test by asking a few questions to see how many important events in your life they remember. The fact that they are not interested or bothered enough to keep this information in mind is a strong sign that they are not a true friend, partner, and will use your friendship love to satisfy some service needs for themselves only. In this situation, self-protection and self-respect become important. Remember that you deserve care and support. Sometimes, withdrawing from a relationship that doesn't provide the necessary support is not an abandonment, but a positive step toward finding respect and happiness. Opening up to people who are willing and able to provide the support you deserve is the next step in your journey to self-improvement and healthy relationships. Number 4, ignoring your needs and wants. When a person continually ignores your needs and wants, they not only show a lack of interest, but also show disrespect for you and your relationship. Decision-making with them tends to be very one-sided. They will clearly state what they want to do and then ignore your opinion, even though your choice is better. Basically, there are no compromises in this relationship. Every decision made is up to them. Even if you really object to their choice, they will find a way to make it happen. In a healthy relationship, communication and listening to the issues that both parties want are fundamental. As soon as you feel disrespected, you should leave. Remember that you have the right and power to create happiness for yourself, regardless of support or validation from others. A quote from Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, deeply reflecting on the importance of being independent and not depending on approval from others. Do not seek to make things happen as you wish, but want things to be as they are, and you will have peace. This quote emphasizes accepting all situations, not trying to change them or expecting them to fulfill all our needs and desires. Instead, we should learn to find peace and happiness from within, relying on our ability to be autonomous and independent. This helps us reduce dependence and increase inner strength, thereby building a meaningful life and being satisfied with what we have. Number 5, constantly criticizing or judging you. Receiving constant criticism and judgment from others, especially when it comes from someone you value, not only hurts your feelings, but can also cause lasting harm to your confidence and self-esteem. Friend, imagine that every time you share a new idea or plan with a friend or partner, Instead of receiving support or constructive feedback, you are negatively criticized. They may say that your idea is not feasible or that you do not have the capacity to execute it. Gradually, these words begin to affect the way you see yourself and your worth. In the spirit of Stoicism, we are advised not to let the judgments of others shape the way we see ourselves. This is the time to 1. Increase inner strength. Use criticism as an opportunity for self-examination and growth instead of letting it define you. 2. Identify your personal values. Realize that your value does not depend on the opinions of others. 3. Seek constructive feedback. Aim to seek positive and constructive feedback from people who are genuinely interested in your growth. Recognizing and facing criticism wisely not only helps you maintain confidence and self-esteem, but also opens up the path to personal growth in a more positive and healthy way. Number 6. Not share information or plans with you. In a relationship, sustainability is always something we aim for. However, when the person you think you have a deep connection with doesn't share information or plans with you, it's most likely a sign of distance and lack of trust or commitment. The relationship, where share and togetherness should be signs of trust and respect, suddenly becomes ambiguous and uncertain. Imagine the feeling when you discover a change of plans through a photo without even knowing it, like an unsent letter, making you wonder about your place in the other person's life. For example, imagine you and a close friend have been planning a trip together for a long time. You were so excited and spent a lot of time researching and planning this trip. However, one day, through a photo posted on social networks, you discover that your friend has decided to change the destination without discussing or informing you in advance. When you reach out to ask about this unexpected change, they just respond coldly that they decided on something new and don't think it's important to inform you. Not only does this situation cause deep disappointment and hurt, but it also makes you wonder whether the relationship is truly based on respect and trust. This incident is a prime example of how a person can feel excluded and unvalued when information and plans are not shared freely and honestly. Clear and open communication is key to overcoming these gaps, but more importantly, building and protecting self-confidence and self-esteem is essential. Acceptance is not surrender, but a step toward creating a solid foundation for inner freedom and peace, where you don't need a shared judgment to feel whole and respected important. Number 7. Privileges pile up. People with predatory tendencies often use subtle tactics to make themselves indispensable figures in your life through providing stacked favors. They are very good at making themselves useful. They skillfully do seemingly small things, then inflate the value of those things disproportionately, thereby creating an environment where you always feel like you owe them a huge favor. Their actions, while seemingly helpful on the surface, actually have a deeper purpose, creating a chain of feelings of guilt and debt in you. Once they have planted the idea in your head that you are in debt to them, they will not hesitate to ask for bigger, more frequent and more severe help, based on the repay principle they created themselves go out. This creates a vicious cycle where you feel unable to get out of debt that you didn't actually borrow. To break this cycle, the first step is to recognize and admit that not all favors come from selfless kindness. Remember, in Stoic philosophy, real help requires no return. A healthy relationship is based on mutual respect and support, not debt and guilt. Finally, have the courage to set boundaries and say no to unreasonable requests, no matter how much they have helped you in the past. You have the right to say no and don't need to feel guilty about it. This not only helps you protect yourself from being taken advantage of, but also helps you build and maintain proper and lasting relationships. Remember, in Stoic philosophy, happiness and self-control are not a precondition for heaping favors on others, but are the result of acceptance. Number 8. They break their promises. A person's all talk and no action often appears as a subtle form of exploitation, where promises become tools to maintain your interest and dependence. Predators boldly make commitments with the implicit condition that you need to do your part first. Even if you keep your word, they don't, creating an endless cycle that gradually creates disappointment and a loss of trust in you. Abusers often don't keep their promises. They will choose to prioritize other people or other things before you. You are not seen as a priority. In their eyes, you are a pushover who won't cause trouble, even if you are constantly let down by the way they break their trust in you. Stoic philosophy, with its focus on accepting things beyond our control and focusing on self-improvement, offers a way out of this vicious cycle. Marcus Aurelius once emphasized, "Concentrate on making your soul better. The rest is beyond our control." This reminds us that even though the other person may not keep their promise, we still have the power to manage our reactions and emotions towards the situation. Reacting, stopping doing what they ask, and no longer believing in their false promises is probably a necessary choice for you. Instead of placing expectations on others, focus on self-improvement and finding happiness within yourself. Finally, being continually let down by people who don't keep their promises is not only a lesson in human uncertainty, but also an opportunity for us to build resilience and self-control. In every situation, remember that freedom and peace of mind come from the ability to accept and overcome, not from expecting validation or compensation from others. Number 9. Disrespectful and always controlling you. In the flow of human relationships, showing distrust or imposing control on others is a sign of an unbalanced relationship and loss of privacy. When a person tries to control you or shows distrust towards you, they not only undermine trust, but also cause stress and loss of personal freedom. The factor to maintain a sustainable relationship is mutual trust. When one partner does not trust the other, the relationship will break. Remember, trust is like a mirror. Once broken, it will take a lot of time and effort to mend. If the mirror is broken too many times, you will not be able to mend it no matter what you do. The crack is still there, proving the irreparable break in your own relationship. When you fall into this situation, confidence and persistence are effective solutions for you. Marcus Aurelius once emphasized the importance of maintaining oneself in the face of challenges. The strength of life is within. In a situation where you feel controlled or distrusted, remember that true power lies in being confident and steadfast in your values and principles. This will not only help you overcome mistrust, but also affirm your independence and self-respect. When you no longer feel trust, you should find a way out and release this disappointing relationship to lead a more fulfilling and happy life. On today's journey, we discovered 9 attitudes of a person who only uses you and doesn't care about you. An essential guide to identifying and protecting yourself from negative relationships and toxic systems. From being indifferent to your feelings, to only contacting you when you need them, to never supporting you, to ignoring your needs and wants, and constantly criticizing or judging you. Each attitude is a warning sign that you may not be as appreciated as you deserve. Facing this truth can be painful, but it is also an important first step to self-protection and finding healthy relationships where respect and care are required for both parties. Remember, You deserve to be loved and cared for sincerely and unconditionally. If someone you love and care about occasionally needs financial support, some practical help, or they call you at odd hours because they feel stressed and bored, that's what we do. We can do it for our friends, family, and loved ones without any hesitation. But don't forget to pay attention to the alarms we listed above if they multiply over time. Sometimes, leaving a toxic relationship is the hardest decision, but also the most powerful step toward freedom and self-respect. We encourage you to like and share this video with those who you think also need to hear this advice. Subscribe to our channel to not miss any useful videos that help you develop yourself and build the life you want. Don't forget to leave a comment below the video to share your thoughts or personal experiences on how you have faced and overcome toxic relationships. Together, we can build a strong community that supports each other on our journey towards self-improvement and happiness.